Hello, beautiful beings. So, I wanted to make a video this evening that I haven't shown up for a while actually, and I've had a lot of big changes going on in my life. So, I have been focusing a lot on different things like finding somewhere to live and focusing on my health and um, focusing on, I guess, just the unknown, really, the uncertainty of not really knowing exactly what the future holds, but taking each step as it comes. And I was really feeling tonight about this feeling of authenticity, of showing up as we are, and it's been a little bit of a battle for me because, on the one hand, I see how on social media there's all these kind of entrepreneurs and people that are very kind of simple and prim in how they show up, that they show up these really beautiful pictures of them living their beautiful lives, and there isn't really any of the messiness and the worries and the concerns and all of that and things. And I totally respect them for that, and the journey that they've been on to get to that place where they really feel like they want to share the best of them. But I've always kind of felt like maybe my purpose is the opposite. Maybe my purpose is, although it'd be lovely to show up in the best of me, part of that is showing up in authenticity and kind of seeing that my imperfections and other people's imperfections make them beautiful as well, and that it's no barrier. Like, people can show up in their lovely beautifulness and their, lovely photos that look very, prim and well done. But then I see them, like some of the really kind of gutsy posts that people have put where they're like, I'm heartbroken and I'm not at my best, and maybe pictures of them when they're not kind of made up or at their very best, when they're really authentic and showing up. And I find that kind of even more beautiful because it's just like this raw humanness about them. So yeah, I thought, oh, I'll show up on camera in my pajamas, my fluffy pajamas, no makeup on, and yeah, I guess just kind of celebrate a little bit what it means to be human, and that we are worthy no matter what. And I think that once you've got that real grounded self-esteem, it's really a comfort in these challenging times that we're in, because no matter what happens in life, there will always be challenges. There will always be changes in your home situation or your relationships or your career and things. And sometimes changes can be very abrupt. And sometimes people have very, fast changes in their finances and things. So if you put all of your self-esteem and your success on those material things, then you're always setting yourself up to fail. And it doesn't mean that you can't be proud of those things, not at all. But it just means that if you put everything on that, and if you judge other people on that, then when people are kind of floundering and going through hard times, sometimes people will then kind of project that means something about them rather than actually showing up for each other. So yeah, I just really, I guess, wanted to get across just the how you can see life, that once it's so easy to get kind of lost in the drama and the fears and the worries and the concerns and the financial worries or worries about the future, that you miss life and you miss joy and you miss connection, because you've got so much going on in your mind that it's almost like the blinkers are on and you don't see things as they really are, or from a different perspective. So I just wanted to read a poem to you that I thought was kind of fitting for what I'm saying. it says, when you are when you are weary, your soul is tired. When you feel confused and battered, insecure and worry about the future, remember what is most important, one another. These pieces of paper, food and shelter, work, purpose and success, it's important but ultimately fleeting. On the journey of life, we can never guarantee what will come next, but only look onwards and take the next steps, with the clothes on our backs, our hearts beating, and take a deep breath, in the remembrance that this all ends. But what we and our loved ones are left with is not the possessions, but the memories, the comfort, the kindness, the solidarity and togetherness, an abundance that only is strengthened by difficult circumstances. May we remember in the eye of the storm that we are one another's safety net, that we are together no matter the distance, the odds, the unsettling life lessons. We have one another, and that is the greatest treasure we are really seeking, connection and belonging, to be part of a tribe, a team, to remember our sense of unity. You are not alone no matter the challenges. Have the courage to reach out in authenticity and compassion, letting down our barriers, only to be greeted with one another, tired of holding up our defences, longing to be held, to be understood, to be accepted. You are not apart, you are part of humanity. And in that remembrance, we can finally summon the bravery to throw out the labels, the fears, the resistance, and remember the truth. That we are all just walking one another home, in this brief blink of an eye that we step foot on this planet. So, I feel like recently I've been thinking about my sense of belonging and connection and relationship and how I come at that. And I actually had a course of counselling which was interesting to kind of dive deep into some patterns and things, and to have another mirror that is able to see my blind spots and the things that I do, and be able to comment on it and say, oh, it was interesting when you said that. I wonder where that came from. And it was really interesting in, I guess, getting to the root of some of my patterns and where they've come from. And I'm finding it quite interesting at the moment that I'm doing some training in counselling, and it's allowing me to see how important attachment and communication and things are, and how even if you're really longing for connection and belonging, sometimes you push it away, or you have unhealthy ways of like communicating, or patterns that actually you really want the connection, but actually even when you have it, you don't know how to come at it from like a healthy place. So I feel like we're all learning that, and we're all bumbling in the dark, and sometimes in relationship we hit triggers and snags and good things, but also it helps us to learn more about how to I guess compromise and things. So I decided for next year that every year I choose a word and a theme for the year to kind of embody and to create around. And I'm trying to remember what this year's is. Clarity. And yeah, it has really been a year of finding more clarity within myself. And I first had this idea of integration for next year, but I then, when I started having kind of the counselling and different things coming up, what came to me actually was connection is what I need. Integration is maybe what my mind thinks it needs. Like my mind needs to work things out and to make things make sense. And this kind of new age thing of like, I'm working through stuff, blah 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 blah. Where and that like makes my mind feel good because it's like being busy. But the reality was, I was like, no, actually, what I need is to let down my defenses and to really connect with myself, with what I want and my sense of joy and my sense of creativity and my gifts and how I show up in the world, to connect with others and to, I guess, foster more kind of healthy relationships and how to come at that and things, and seeing like my patterns of how I kind of take a step back or put up my defenses rather than actually show up kind of authentically, and how I connect with a sense of like community in the world and things. And something that I found really interesting this year actually was that I'd built up this identity around independence, and really feeling like independence gives me this high level of self-esteem that I feel like I'm successful in the world. But I realised that actually in some ways it was me keeping a barrier between myself and people, that it's like I don't need anyone because I'm good enough on my own, like don't try and kind of take from me. So yeah, it's I feel like connection is something that we need in this world. Like it is the missing piece of the puzzle that, like in society, we have an epidemic of loneliness and an epidemic of suicide, and we are financially said to be more and more abundant in particularly Western society, and yet we are more and more unhappy and feel more and more trapped. And I'm trying to remember the name of the country. It begins with B. There's an Asian country that basically have like happiness is like a wealth. So they say that they're like the happiest country, that people are the most content, and they don't have the most financial abundance. In fact, actually, they have little abundance, but actually it's about how to foster connection and community and feel your sense of place. And I feel like that's something that I've always struggled with, is feeling my sense of place, feeling my sense of home and connection, and always kind of feeling like the odd one out, or struggling to make friends or maintain connections, or, you know, feeling like sometimes I kind of like want more community, but almost feeling like I'm still searching for my tribe or something. And then when you're in a certain place, you realise the whole of the human race is my family, my tribe. And part of finding your sense of tribe is grounding into belonging here. So by allowing yourself to belong, you kind of naturally gravitate towards your tribe, your people that most resonate with you, really. So yeah, it's interesting how different communities have a very different way of connecting and communicating and what their priorities are. And I find that the Western world, more and more, it's very much more of like an individual, like you're successful if you're able to be more individual and less reliant on each other, and that is you being more successful. Whereas actually a lot of other countries, particularly kind of Asian countries, find their sense of belonging and success is actually how they support their family and their community. So it's interesting. Sometimes the things that we think are normal is actually just conditioning of our particular society, and it's really interesting to be able to question everything and where that comes from, and think actually we sometimes need to start from the ground up and start again and be like, well, like my society or like my family or whoever kind of thinks that I'm more successful or have more of a sense of belonging if I do this. But actually I see all of these problems in society that are happening because of doing that. So what are we missing? and seeing, and like particularly traveling and seeing other cultures and seeing how they do things. But then maybe in some ways, like they maybe have maybe go a little bit too far in one way as well. So maybe they take their sense of community, their belonging and success as being part of a community is actually taken too far. So it's like, how can we meld those two different ways of doing it that actually we see our sense of success and value and worth as by how much we are present with people, or in our kind of relationships, or our creativity and all of these different things, rather than just material value. And yeah, I just feel like there's so much we can learn about how we can see our value and our worth through a number of different dimensions rather than just what our society has told us, and then share that with one another. So I'm not going to go on for too much longer, but I just wanted to show up in my authenticity and where I am at the moment, and in this place of huge change, huge uncertainty, and trying to, I guess, continuously ground and show up authentically, and really get to my true self, and what really feels empowering and beautiful, and really connected, and listening to my own self rather than maybe what other people are doing as well. So I hope that you are all well, beautiful people, and yeah, lots of love to you.